Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Iris and I make vlogs and fashion styling and review type of videos. Sorry that it's been a while since I uploaded my last video. I've been very busy with traveling and my 9-to-5 job, and this weekend I finally found some time to film this video which is about an in-depth review of my Moncler jacket. Everything, including my first impression, details and specs, how warm this is, and of course the price, how I got it for $800 cheaper, and if I think it's worth it. Alright, let's start with a quick intro of the brand. So Moncler is an Italian luxury brand known for their premium down jacket. Although it is headquartered in Italy now, it was actually founded in a small town in France in 1952. Yes, they have been around for a long while now, and Moncler is actually the abbreviation of the small town that the brand was founded in. So initially, Moncler was making more utility-focused down jackets for workers to wear on top of their overalls in harsh climates. And a few years later, they were selected to equip some of the famous mountain expeditions, including one that successfully summited K2, the second tallest mountain in the world. And a few years later, they became more famous after supplying the French downhill skiing team in the Grenoble Winter Olympics. And that kind of set the foundation for the brand as being the supplier of premium, high-quality winter down jackets. And later in the 1980s, they became more popular among young people in the cities because of their shiny, bright colors. And the real turning point for the brand happened in 2003 when Italian entrepreneur Remo Ruffini spotted the brand and acquired it, and later on successfully shifted this brand into the luxury haute couture segment. So currently, Moncler has 3 lines. Moncler Collection is their main line for men and women's winter jacket, and that is also the line where my jacket is from. And there's also Moncler Genius, which is their designer line for collaborations with different fashion designers. And lastly, there's Moncler Grenoble, which is the line for their ski wear collections. Alright, so moving on to first impressions. So the jacket I got is the Fourmine jacket from the Moncler collections. And the moment I tried it on, the first thing I noticed was how lightweight it was. I'm used to winter jackets like Canada Goose or Moose Knuckles, which are super warm, but at the same time, they're very heavy and stiff. And in comparison, Moncler jackets are like feather light. And they're also super soft and doesn't constrain your movements at all. So I actually had some question marks on exactly how warm this jacket is given the light weight, but now after wearing it in some 0 degrees and even sub-0 degree weathers with only one layer underneath, I can safely say that this jacket is quite warm. And I live in Toronto, Canada, and of course our winter gets a lot harsher than 0 degree weathers, but I think with a few more layers, maybe 1 layer of cashmere sweater, this jacket should be enough even in the depth of Toronto winter. And another thing I noticed was how great their customer service was. So I bought my jackets in person in one of their boutique stores, and the sales associates there were super welcoming and helpful. They really tried to understand my preference and made great recommendations on the types of jackets I should try on. They also brought me a digital catalog on an iPad so that it's easier for me to filter through all the jackets they have and decide which ones I'm interested in to try on. And I think in the end, I tried on like 10 different jackets, and they were so patient and helpful throughout the entire process. And now let's take a closer look of the jacket. Overall, this jacket is on the slimmer fit side, and I am wearing the size 0. I did size up by 1 size to allow for a bit more room for layering, but I think for the bulky fitted Moncler jackets, you can just go with your usual size. The outer shell is 100% nylon. It is very smooth and soft and honestly very thin. If I were to wear it to walk my dog, I would be a little worried about my dog poking a hole on it when he plays with me. It also has a slightly shiny satin-like finish, which gives it a bit more fashionable look. The inner filling is 90% premium down and 10% feather. Moncler is very proud of the quality of the down they use, and also the fact that they're not only sourcing the highest quality down, but also try to source it responsibly and respect animal welfare. That is why all of the jackets are certified by this DIST protocol, which stands for Down Integrity and Traceability. Some of the key requirements for this certification include down must be derived exclusively from farmed geese and as a byproduct of the food chain, and also no form of live plucking or force feeding is permitted. Another metric to note is the down fill power. It kind of shows the fluffiness of the down they use. If the fill power is higher, that means the down clusters they use are larger and stronger and can trap more air with the same amount of down. It also makes that a jacket with higher fill power is lighter and more compressible than a jacket with lower fill power. Moncler says their down has a minimum fill power of 710, which is indeed on the higher end from what I've seen. Another thing to note is that this jacket does come with the hood and it is detachable. I really like their design on the buttons here, so you can hide the buttons after removing the hood. And if you button everything up with the hood on, it looks like this. The comic strip on the inside is another unique thing about Moncler jackets, a very fun way to show how to wash the jacket, and I love the fact that it is not dry clean only. You can also hand wash it and flat dry in the shade. Additionally, you can also verify the authenticity of the jacket by scanning the QR code here. And of course, as a luxury brand, the price point for Moncler jackets is quite steep. The Fourmine jacket I have is currently priced as 2,130 Canadian dollars on the website, and after a 13% sales tax in Toronto, you pay around 2,400 Canadian dollars in total. However, I got my jacket for only 1,545 Canadian dollars in total. And how did I do that? That is exactly why luxury shopping in Italy is a thing. And before I move on to more details, if you like my video so far, please like, comment, and subscribe for future content. Well, first of all, Moncler is an Italian brand, so the official pricing there in Italy is already cheaper than what it is in Canada. For example, this jacket costs around 1,800 Canadian dollars in Italy using current exchange rate, versus here it costs around $2,400. But you can save even more money because as a tourist, you get around 12% tax refunds when you exit the country. So after the tax refunds, the total cost for this jacket comes down to around 1,500 Canadian dollars. So I recently traveled to Rome and got this jacket in Rome, and that's exactly how I saved 800 Canadian dollars on this jacket. And if you live in the States, you can also save a lot of money on this jacket. So I checked, this jacket on the US website is about 1,640 US dollars. But on the Italian website, after exchange rate, is around 1,300 US dollars. And after considering tax refunds in Italy and the sales tax that you need to pay in the US, you can save around 600 US dollars currently. And last but not least, is it worth it? Is it worth it to spend thousands of dollars on one winter jacket? Well, first of all, I do think it is a very high quality premium product. It is very soft and lightweight and doesn't constrain your movements at all, even with layers underneath. But it still gives you enough warmth in harsh winter weather. Well, ultimately it is a luxury brand, and you're not just paying for the product itself, you're also paying for the brand value and things like their marketing expense, their customer service, and their brand image, etc. I personally think you can find equally high quality products elsewhere for maybe half of the price or even less than half of the price. And the question of if it's worth it, I think that really depends on your personal financial status and your values, your priorities in life. And yeah, so comment down below and let me know what do you think of the brand, the products, and if this is something that you would buy. And yeah, so that's a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for watching as always.